everybody, this is Visit Joan and welcome to Pokemon in the Real World, the show where we take certain aspects of Pokemon and see if they will work the same way in the real world. Every type has its strengths and weaknesses. Most types are both super effective against something and resisted by something. And in fact, some types have immunities, meaning they're not affected by moves of another type. This is the case with the flying type, in fact that it's completely immune to ground type moves. Which makes sense, because when you have a bird, it's not on the ground. And in the game, this will always be the case, because 0 times anything always equals 0. It's one of my favorite math facts because you can never get it wrong. Well, I did once playing around the world, but that's a different story. And for moves such as Earthquake, this makes sense, because if you're not on the ground, you're not going to feel an earthquake. However, not all ground-type moves are confined to just the ground. In fact, there are a few that don't stay on the ground at all. I can take some mud, roll it up into a ball, throw it in the air, and hit a bird with it. So the question is, are flying-type Pokemon always immune to ground-type moves? To find the answers to this question, we're going to again take a look at the anime, which is basically how Pokemon would work in the real world. We've seen several ground-type moves, but let's take a look at a few in particular. An example being Dig. Dig is basically a 2-turn move in which the Pokemon digs underground and then pops up somewhere near the opponent. And it would make sense that if Dig was executed by like a Diglett, it wouldn't be able to hit something that's floating or flying in the air. But what if Dig was being used by, let's say, a Garchomp? Well, as you can see here, Garchomp gets quite a bunch of momentum while digging underground, and when it comes up, it can basically launch itself in the air. Basically, this thing can practically fly. Yet it still doesn't learn fly. That's for another video. But you can see it basically launch itself in the air, and if it moves the right way, yes, it can hit something that's in the air, that's floating or flying, or a bird, or whatever. Or if it was a Pokemon like Onix or something that's just big, and when it naturally just comes out of the ground, if the bird or whatever it is low enough, it will hit the bird. It'd be more like a tackle than a ground type move, but it would still hit. Another move that actually could be used like this is Drill Rush. Now basically Drill Rush is a move used by, Drillbur and Excadrill, and I don't know if anybody else can learn it. Again, this move doesn't involve staying on the ground. It involves launching itself up in the air and twirling itself like a drill. If it gets enough speed and has enough force to push off the ground, it can hit opponents in the air. But probably a better move to illustrate these examples would probably be Mud Bomb. Now basically what Mud Bomb is, it's basically throwing dirt balls at the opponent. And as you can see here, you can actually launch them into the air. Once again, if you time it right and aim precisely, yes, you can hit a bird with that. But just don't take my word for it here. Why don't we actually see when Mud Bomb was used against a flying type Pokemon, which can be found in the episode Silent Takes Flight, when he has a Stunfisk use Mud Bomb against Skyla's Swanna. Now, Swanna does not take any damage from the attack, but that looks like it's more because of its evasive maneuvers instead of the fact that it's a bird and it's flying. In fact, if it had moved the wrong way, it could have been hit by that, and if it gets hit, it'll deal some damage. So I think it's safe to say that in conclusion, some ground type moves could hit flying types or Pokemon using Levitate. It just depends on how high the Pokemon is and what move is used and what Pokemon is using that move. I'm sorry this is a little shorter than usual, but my mouth is still healing, so. Do you have any other examples of ground type moves that can be used to hit a flying or levitating opponent? Please let me know in the comments. Also, if you like this video, please feel free to give it a like. I would really, really, really appreciate that. If you like this and want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter at VisitJoanVideos, and I will be seeing you next time whenever that is. You know what? I don't really like that outro anymore. I don't really know what I'm going to do with it. I don't know what I'm going to do for an outro anymore. I might just say, I might just catch you later. Yeah, you know what? I like that. Maybe I'll use that from now on. I don't really know. I'll just probably end the video right here. And every type resists. No, it doesn't.